Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, welcome to episode number 211. Happy New Year to everybody. We're going to be catching up with Nick King in a little bit here, but first we're going to talk a little bit about all the goings-ons and happenings at the New Year's Eve party, coming to you live from the FingerLakes1.com studios here in downtown Seneca Falls, the North Park building at Academy Square. Brian was there to bear witness to it, and all intents and purposes, it sounds like this was one of it went over pretty well. It did.
It did a lot of fun. Another full house. Tim and Russ from Smash It were there. Jason Brodzinski made the tow out. A few more locals this year, which is good to see. Some of our, supporters we've had from the beginning. Bad Ronnie McClung was there. Christy and Devin were there. Josh Bueller was there. Gully and Jody, or Jeremy and Jody were there, and a couple of their crew, and just a great night all the way around. I mean, a lot of fun, a lot of laughing, a lot of storytelling. It was a really good time.
Everybody seemed to be happy at the end of the night. There was no almost fights, which is always good. And a couple newcomers to Demolition Derby as a whole got introduced to what the party was all about, which was kind of cool as well. They seemed to have a good time, and who knows, maybe we'll see
I don't
them
know
back
her
next
name.
year.
I saw she was out dancing. Looked like she was having fun.
Yep.
So that's cool.
So,
and of course, I would say
Scott Sweet was the family.
Probably the biggest part of the night. Jeremy Gully announcing a huge. Is huge a good adjective?
Yeah, that's very fair.
Huge paying compact
4,000
show.
win compact show, $250 to start the feature, 125% payback. So all the entry money plus money going to be.
Yeah, if you make it to the
out.
Track, you end up with $200. I believe is how it works out.
Yeah, if you make it to the feature, yep. And it's going to be tough
if you make it to the track, you get paid when you come on the track, or for making it onto the track. I believe is how Jeremy explained it to me. I can be checked for sure on the Spinning Wheels page, or I am Jeremy. But $100 to enter, $4,000 to win.
$1,000 Mad Dog.
$1,000 Mad Dog.
2,000, 1,000 back through second and third.
Yeah, just a great payoff. He, my son Zach and I went down and spent a couple days with Jeremy, did a little hunting, and he was telling me about it. I'm here to tell you, compact guys. I mean, this is the V8s are filler class that day. So, all these compact guys that have been asking for a big show and a good paying show. I mean, here it is. We've talked before. You got to support the promoters that take care of the drivers, and Jeremy Gully stepping up and taking care of the compacts for sure. $100, yes, $100 it's a pretty good entry fee, but there's a chance to win $4,000. There's a chance to win $1,000 Mad Dog. Mm-hmm. Jeffy's Fab Farm has stepped up, donating.
Tons of headers.
Yeah, ton of headers. There's a lot of good prizes. Telling you what, there's some great drivers around here, great local drivers. I would love to see make the tow down to Morris.
They're getting out of V8s to go into compacts.
Yeah, there's a lot of great local drivers. Here it is, guys. Step up. Let's make this big. It's 105 entries.
Right.
100 paid, and 5 will be waffled online.
Yeah. Yep.
So keep up with that. I believe it's going to be $10 a ticket. I'm not exactly $10 a chance. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember what Jeremy told me, but again, if so
you're going to get a Reliant K, an Aries perhaps for this?
No. If I was a little younger, probably. I just can't take those shots like that anymore. As long as I didn't get caught, I'd be all right. But my luck, I'd get caught. And
we're not done with announcements yet regarding that either.
Okay.
There's more coming.
Are we making, or is Jeremy going to make them a later date?
We're gonna. It'll be a collaborative thing.
Cool.
But
Very
we
cool.
need to make sure all the stuff's gonna fall the right way first.
I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
Yeah.
Cool.
That is a big endeavor to take on, and you want to make sure that it's going to work.
Yes, it is.
Front to back.
We gave away some cars.
Yeah, Harold Benjamin won the Cadillac.
Just what he needs.
And
72 years old, and before people bitch and complain, he's still derbying. He either won or finished second last year in his hometown. So
I think he finished. Now I can't remember. If you hadn't said that,
whose turn was it last year to win?
I almost think that Harold must have finished up there in the top because Mark was the defending winner from the year before, and he couldn't run.
Maybe Kerry won it.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Safely assume that there's
it's their family.
One of the Benjamins.
Yeah.
But he won that, and then the Crown Vic went home with Anthony Wall Auto.
That's awesome.
Brad Tice won the Tahoe, and I don't know what he's going to do with it, but he won the Tahoe.
I saw a post from Brad Sunday evening. He's he's never ran one, doesn't know what they're worth, but somebody that knows, get a hold of them. I believe it's for sale.
And then the
Camry?
Yeah, the Camry.
Went to a gentleman sitting right by where you guys are handing out tickets.
I almost think it was that wall-to-wall table again.
Nope, it wasn't wall-to-wall.
No.
Wall-to-wall was over closer. They were like behind, like in front of the bar. That's where they were sitting. Kind of by where the OG, Tommy Dowd was sitting.
Right.
Andy Wolfanger was at the same table. They were sitting there, but I can't think of the guy's name.
I'm blanking.
You'd think the guy that was in charge would have wrote that down.
I didn't. I did not. I did not write it down.
Do you want to call Josh? He was sort of running the show.
He was. We gave the door prize tickets to the DJ, and Josh went around and did 50-50. Tim Clark won a $400+ 50-50.
And I think Russ won the poker game.
Did he?
I think him and Gully, I believe, and Ross ended up winning. But Gully said he was 60 ahead, so he was happy. So it was a good night. It was really fun. It was a nice, warm, balmy night. So it was kind of too bad that we couldn't hang out outside.
There were some people that were going outside, and they were regretting it.
It was fun. It really was. And again, I'm glad for all the support. Chris Marquardt came away with an award that night.
Yeah, that was kind of a surprise. I didn't expect that.
Yeah. It's really,
I was squirming.
It was. I know you were, and that's the thing is it's really scary. And that Josh and I were thinking a lot of the same way. I hadn't planned on the award, but I wanted to. I planned on. I wanted to thank you, and
I told Josh it was a kind gesture, and he's fired.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you, and show our appreciation for all you've done for us in the sport, and I also wanted to get Josh Buell and Christy Germain some thank yous and some little
some recognition.
Yeah, for the great job they're doing with the San Filippo waffles. So it all worked out well, I would say.
Just a rundown quickly of the folks that got some of the year-end awards. Hard luck recognition is going to Jason Koch from West Virginia, the full size, Randy McCravey in the compacts side of things for hard luck. Most improved, Brian Bryington with Team America for his efforts out there at Blizzard Bash, finishing in a tie, David LeJewitt and Kyle Hunter for most improved in the compact side of things. Top newcomer, Jerry Lyerly in the full size ranks, and Robbie Hansen in the compact side of things, drivers from Iowa and Pennsylvania respectively. Newsmaker Award, Clay Stewart from Utah, getting that after his ailing mom and driving a car that he basically got for free, that he wasn't really sure what was going to happen with it. He was right up there with that. Showman Award of the Year, full-size Steve Siopa after his run in that wagon, and Danny Ogden in the compacts. Danny from out in Utah. Dedication to Demolition Derby given to Alan McNeil from he's right here in New York, Dunkirk guy. Dedication goes to somebody who spends a lot of effort trying to raise the bar, so to say. And he works a lot with Team Angela, donates a lot of his trophies, donates a lot of his winnings to those causes. Made Young Got Famous Award, Josh Adam. He took that home after he had the front rail ripped off of his Crown Vic at Blizzard Bash and still continued to limp that thing around. Driver of the Year in the compact side, 9 wins and never finishing worse than third, Leon Rumsey from Kansas winning that. Tom Henderson in the full-size side of things after winning in Tennessee and Bash for Cash, getting Driver of the Year and Hit of the Year award, Lane Frericks, after he basically T-boned a skid steer at Blizzard Bash, and it was well-deserved.
Yeah,
well-deserved
absolutely. You know what
I
else?
saw some folks that had tuned in and watched it when we did it live, and we've got 4 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down, so we're +2. Not quite as good as Gully being up +60, but we're +2.
We also you mentioned the bad luck that Jason had. He also had the ring break on his rear axle and let that slide out at Blizzard Bash.
That's right,
which has never happened before. Yeah. So he really had a string of bad luck this year.
He did.
So hopefully he can do what he's got to do and get that changed for next year. And
think Jason Coate can make the trip down to Florida?
I don't know that answer.
It'd be fun if you did.
Yeah,
good way to kickstart the year, right?
Yeah. Is he on a team?
I don't know. I got the list is on my phone. I've been having some challenges getting my phone to charge. So I did not dive back in there because I wanted to save as much battery as possible for one Nick King, who's joining us right now. Nick, how are you?
Good. How are you?
We're doing all right. Nick is going to be the lead tech for down there at the Florida Southern Nationals Showdown, February the 10th. How did it come about that you got this job, and how miserable is it so far?
Basically, JC and John Cash just kind of reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in coming down and helping, and it kind of played out perfect because I'm going on a cruise February 5th, and I get off on the 10th, so I'm already going to be in Florida. So I was like, yeah, perfect. I'll make the 2-hour trip down and finish my little vacation off right.
Not bad. That's where are you cruising off to?
I think we're going to the Bahamas or something twice. We make 2 stops in the Bahamas or something.
Cool.
I think it is.
So questions have got to be coming at you fast and furious. You know, we're a little over a month away from this show happening down there in Florida. You're in the hot seat right now with everybody asking questions, sending you pictures and things like that. How has the tech process gone so far?
It's been good. A lot of guys from Utah that's coming over that they ask a lot of questions. I think it's because it's such a far drive, they don't want to have to come this far and cut. So
sure.
They've been at me a lot. Some Florida guys are starting to bring in the questions now that it's getting closer. Pennsylvania guys, Deckers wrote me a few times, so they're coming in. I'm coming in good. I expect them to be more here in the next week or something. Whenever guys really start crunching down on it.
It's definitely going to pick up. The closer it gets, it always does. What prior to this inspection, head tech inspection positions have you held?
I did the Bash 2 years. I've helped Tim and Russ a lot at their fairs.
Right.
Helped some down in Kentucky with John Peck and them.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year I'm actually going to go over with Toast, and I'm going to be his head inspector for compacts over there. So it's kind of taken off good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good resume that Nick's been able to amass for himself. I mean, he's not walking in as a guy who's going to get duped. You know,
absolutely not.
Yeah.
What are the questions primarily focusing on, without giving away any build tips? Has anybody tried to find anything in, what do they call it, the gray area?
Yeah, I guess you'd call it that. John and JC, they kind of made the rules up, to try to make everyone, pleasing everyone from, Utah to Pennsylvania to New York to Florida, to try to make the build easy for everybody.
Sure.
And kind of let everybody build them how they would back at home,
Mm-hmm.
For example. So, the rules are kind of like, it says you can do this and this, so guys got to call, and, like some of the cross-member rules, questions about cross-member and how they can put those in, and just different things like that, bumper shop tubes, brackets, such things like that.
Same questions, different derby, right?
It's all the same. It's all the same. It's all.
That's all it is. Yeah, same stuff. They're just trying to figure out how they can put the best pressure on the front end. Don't leave this.
Well, I mean, all they're really doing, I mean, they know how they interpret it, and they're just trying to see how Nick does. So when they get there, they can have their argument already or their discussion already. Well, this is how I did it. If you look at it this way, and because drivers are terrible, so they're all looking for that competitive edge. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a great show.
That was what was rough about me going out to Blizzard Bash, because as I was building my car, I was kind of building it as a driver, but then I started looking at it as an inspector too. I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't do this, because it's going to be hard to argue something like that because I've been in that position. So.
Yeah, it's definitely hard looking both ways. I mean, when you're building as a driver, you can when you're building your own car, you can talk yourself into about everything. Well, if I'm not really doing this, I'm more doing that, and so it's not really there. But then if you step back and you look at it as an inspector, which I've never had to do because I don't inspect, so I can, I wasn't trying to get a competitive edge. I was just, doing this because that's the easiest way. But I mean, it definitely has to weigh in your mind. I mean, we've heard it from Ben before. When he's building that, he kind of steps back and look at it from both sides. So definitely something that Nick had to do.
The rules themselves. Did you have any input into the construction of the rule book for this event, or it was all JC and John?
Not this year. Not this year. I didn't. It was more of once I've known I was going to inspect for quite some time now, but once the rules kind of got put in place and they got submitted out, then John Cashers basically handed it over to me. I got to read them for about a month, and then he said, "Are you ready to answer any questions?" And it was kind of went on from there. And any questions that John Cash or JC Molly got prior to me taking over, they actually sent them to me, and I knew how they answered them, so there wouldn't be no mix-up, when it comes to the Derby. Sure. And then once I finally took over, it was everybody, call me or ask me for the questions.
That certainly does help, having that extra month to read through everything. Trying to interpret.
Like, so I knew about it beforehand. Like, we really didn't announce it that I was coming down to do it until they was ready for me to announce it, or they wanted to announce it.
In terms of the interpretation, taking that month, how much were you asking questions back and forth from them to try and clarify it so that you guys were all on the same page? It's got to be a little bit challenging to try and implement and maintain a particular set of rules that you didn't have the opportunity to have input on.
Yeah, I asked a lot of questions back to like John and JC, just questions that. And I even told him, I said, if I was building, I would do it this way. So I need to know how we can clarify it. If you guys was inspecting, how would you guys interpret that rule? So I just wanted to be on the same page as them. That way, when we get down there, I'm not in the blind, and we have any sort of mix-up. Like, no, this is how we meant that rule to be. So basically, it's full strings on me now. So when we get down there, if John Cash thinks he can do something, and if I don't think it's to the rules, then he's cutting it.
Right.
Even though he built the rules, it's all in my hands now.
That's got to be comforting to have that kind of back support. I mean, when the promoters that wrote the rules that brought you on board said, if we got to cut our cars, we're going to cut.
Yeah, and that's what I told myself. I don't, because they told me, read the rules. For that first month, we talked about everything, we figured everything out, and now it's on me. So whenever we get there, if they try to do something, which I really doubt they will be in their show, but if they do, and I want them to cut it, they'll cut it. There won't be no issues about, well, this is how I wanted the rule to be, and such. It's going to be mix the final, say so and that, and that's how we're going to go with it.
Nick, who else is going to be on the crew helping you down there?
It's actually going to be me, my brother, and my buddy John, basically our Blizzard Bash team. They've helped around here a lot with the few shows that we put on around here. They've helped Tim and Russ at a few fairs, so they've got some experience in inspecting. It's just me and my two buddies. We're going to go down there and try to make it something great to come back next year too.
Cool, very cool.
How
I try to get Toast to come down, but that's a pretty far drive for him.
Right.
He said he still may come down and watch or something, but that's a good drive for one day of work.
Yeah.
How far are we from having rules that are specifically built to a specific car? We've got these blanket rule sets, and it's sort of forcing people to go one direction or another with their car choice, so that it favors it. The rules might favor a Caddy, they might favor a Ford, they might fall one way or another. How long before we start seeing rules that are, if you're going to build this car, you have to do it this way. If you're going to build this car, you have to do it this way. And try and even some of the playing field, so it makes some of these other cars now that have almost become obsolete, for lack of a better term, viable again.
I mean, for full size, that's kind of up in the air, basically, because, like around here in Ohio, it's all, either if you're running new style, you're running Crown Vics or Lincolns, and they're basically the same.
Right.
So everyone's building the same identical car. If they're building old styles, you got the wagons, the sedans. Now with the new rules, with the Leaf and the cars around here, I won't be for too long. To turn back the clock, will probably be new style with leaf springs.
Sure.
But I wrote the rules for Tosa's compacts. That's why he brought me in to be the head guy. And I actually sat down and wrote down basically in our rules. It's got two different sets and one set for front wheel drive and rear wheel drive. Mm-hmm. So you ain't going to have an advantage if you bring a rear wheel drive and a front wheel drive guy say, well, he can have that, but I can't. Well, here's your option to have this instead of putting in this.
Gotcha.
I don't really know if you could do that, to say, okay, if because if you tell somebody how they can do it and give them the ideas, how to do it, you're kind of taking away the ingenuity. You're kind of taking away the thought process. I mean, because like you go to Blizzard Bash, and everybody's oohing and on about Cadillacs. Well, there was a lot of really well-built Cadillacs last year that got bent in the first round. They were, some of them were bent by Fords.
Mm-hmm.
Some Fords were getting. I think it's, some guys. I think it's with any form of derbying. Some guys get stuff figured out quicker and better than other guys. And then there's obviously the driving ability that comes into it. So it's. I don't think you'll see. I think you'll see. Just a blanket rule like we have now, and maybe some fine tuning, but I really didn't think anything would need to be done. I don't know how big of a fan I am of the leaf springing cars at Bash for Cash, but I don't really have a say. But as a fan, I don't know how much of a fan I am of that. I guess we'll see. I mean it. I like to turn back the clock class because it's old iron. You know what I mean? That's just that's what I really enjoy seeing, because we go to Bash for Cash every year, and there's a lot of Chevy wagons there. I enjoy seeing that. I like seeing them get tore up and tearing stuff up. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where it goes this year. I mean, maybe it's a one-off, and they change something or do it a different way next year. I don't know, but. I don't think you'll really see, a set of rules to where, all right, if you're building a Vic, build to these rules, and if you're building if you're building old iron, build to these rules. But that's just my humble opinion. And
stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. So let's see.
Building off of that leg of the conversation, Nick. Now, how difficult is it to like you alluded to with Utah, those guys think about rules a little bit different than the guys in New York or in Western Pennsylvania. By the same token, you've got a lot of drivers in Florida that have never been around. The casual Derby fan in Florida has never been around a huge event like this before. How does that playing field stay level so that those guys down in Florida feel like they've got a fighting chance when they're essentially going against what they're going to interpret as professional Derby drivers coming in from Utah?
This is going to open up their eyes, that's for sure. The best thing they could do is, for me, I would walk around and ask, can I look at cars? You know what I mean? Like, this guy's down there, like JC, he can build a great car, and he's built, multiple cars for the show. So, if, some of them guys down there, if they feel like they're not on the level playing field, they need to, I think they need to at least look at a few other cars and see how them people are at least doing their cages. No one's going to really let someone crawl under their car and look at, how they're doing everything. But for them guys to come up to this, for a team show like this, at least when they get there, if they feel like they're underbuilt or if they feel like they could have done something different, just kind of look and see, how did Utah build their cars, or how did, Western PA or New York guys do their cars?
Sure.
Or the Kentucky guys has come, because I know the Kentucky guys coming. I know, Steve and them. I know how Steve builds his cars. I've never really looked at the Utah cars or, Decker's cars, but I can pretty well see, the Kentucky cars are going to be slightly different than Steve's, just from, I know how they build their cars down there, and I know, how Steve kind of built his cars.
Well, you see, that's
and
the
I know
first
how
thing.
JC built his.
The first thing is Decker isn't building his car, so that's where we got to go from there. But,
Start there.
It's Decker's crew building the car, but which I actually talked to Josh.
Decker's crew built this car.
I think Josh said they got the body back on it, so kind of a secret what he's running on. Interested to see how it turns out and goes.
Next week, we're going to be catching up with Dave from Big Rock. We're talking with him about the show that he's got coming up in September down in Pennsylvania. He's going to be on to hang out with us for a little while, and then we're probably going to be putting a little bit of focus on Winter Slam as well next week. Winter Slam coming up right around the corner. That is it's the same day as the Florida show. Winter Slam, February 10th in St. Peter, Minnesota. It's full. There's no spots left. Full-size weld class, no wagons, 35 car max, $2,000 to win. They're paying back through the top 10, $1,350 for second, $750 for third, $500 and $300 through the top 5. 80 chain class, 35 cars max, $1,000 to win. They're paying top 10 there. Light build trucks, 35 max, $1,000 to win, paying top 10. Compacts, 108 inches and under, 35 cars max, $1,000 to win. 600, 300, 200, and paying top 10. Each class has a heavy hitter award, $300 in a trophy. And best paint gets $100 in a plaque. Longest tow gets $100. Second longest gets $75. Best Western Mankato still has some rooms available. $99 for a double, $109 for poolside. 507-625-9333. Contact Randy Waslowski for additional details. 507-327-1944 or Jeremy Yurtman 507-525-4290. The focus of our conversation right now is this event right here, the Florida Southern Nationals Showdown, February the 10th at the Hernando County Fairgrounds in Brooksville, Florida. 2-man team demolition derby. 20 teams coming from all over the country to come and be part of this. Tickets are on sale now, HernandoFairgrounds.com. Coming up in March. Yes, we're already looking at March. Capital City Carnage at the Kansas Expo Center in Topeka. Heat draws are going to be March the 15th. March 16th is the limited weld heats, 1 through 10. The top 2 advance. It's 7 o'clock start time there. And then Championship Saturday is St. Patrick's Day, March the 17th. 10 o'clock start time is limited weld consolations 1 through 5. Top 2 advance, and then the compact feature is also part of that morning program. The evening program starts at 7 o'clock. Extreme 2-man feature, $2,500 to win. The modified feature as well, $2,500 to win. Leading up to the limited weld finals, paying $10,000 to win and a $5,000 Mad Dog Award, if you can believe that. And looking ahead, again, Capital City Carnage, jump online, capitalcitycarnage.com. May Mania, that's going to be the next one in line for those guys, May 18th and 19th, 2018. Salt Lake City, Utah is the home base for that one. It's going to be following the same format as the Heber City program that we had at the Wasatch Wipeout back in July. Huge thank you to all the drivers, supporters, and partners, and especially the fans that helped make the 2017 season a successful year for Stern Dirt Racing online, sterndirtracing.com. And rounding out our drops, looking at the end of May now, Memorial Day weekend. Bash for Cash 2018 at the Ross County Fairgrounds in Chillicothe, Ohio. The Near at Big Rock, $11,000 to win kicker class is open to both new and old iron this year. There's an old iron bonus in the event. The feature is won by an old iron entry. They get an extra $3,000, or an extra $1,500 goes to the highest placing old iron ride if the event's won by a metric. DerbyTees.com Turn Back the Clock class is going to offer the same bonuses, but in reverse. It's a metric bonus. If a metric car can win it, it's an extra $3,000 to win there, or there's an extra $1,500 going to the highest placing if it's won by an old iron. 1,000 to win DEC headers. Compact class is also out there. All those divisions are full. Frank the Tank, old school wire class, full-size trucks, youth compact. Compact trucks have openings at $75 to enter. And the 80s wire class and street stocks are full as well. If you're looking for more information, jump online, smashderbies.com. Once again, Smash Derbies, the hosts of the 2017 Bash for Cash. Nick, you're going to be working on that one this year too, you said?
Actually, this year I'm taking that one off. I'm actually supposed to be running this year.
You're going to run? Okay.
Yeah, this may be my last year of actually running some cars for a little while. Me and my wife's been talking about maybe trying to start a little family here with kids or whatever, so I'm thinking this may be my last year of running. So I figured I'd give the Bash one more try before I hang it up for a little while.
Boy, that $10,000 compact win would be pretty nice when you're looking to bring a new baby home, huh?
Yeah, that would be nice, yeah.
Nick had the opportunity to try some deep waters with Blizzard Bash this year. What did you think about your experience out there in Topeka?
It was good. The regular heat was fine. Just us versus another team. I could do that all weekend probably, but once the feature got there, we just didn't have enough. Just didn't have enough help, or teammates or whatever you'd call it in the feature. So we kind of took our butt whooping and went home. But it was a fun time. It's definitely an experience that I'm glad I got to do.
You ever
always talked about going out there, but
you ever build anything like the car that you had to build for Blizzard Bash?
Yeah, that's kind of our build here at home. I mean, it's kind of normal. We got to do a few other things that we don't ever really get to do here, like the 16-inch long plate on the front, stuff like that. But just overall, that's about our normal build here for county fairs and stuff, like a smash it style build.
I like the sounds of that because those are some pretty entertaining compacts out there.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
they put on a good show.
there's nothing on track that's not entertaining, and compacts are included. So it
was definitely a good time. After getting my car home, I seen my whole cage was 2x4 by 1/4 inch, and it was gusseted in every spot you could gusset plus more, and it was shifted out of the driver's side a little bit. So it was a good show.
Yeah, they bend cages out there. That's no joke. Don't matter what class it is, there's some hard hitting.
So looking ahead to Florida, is it hard to think about the vacation and the cruise when you're going to the Bahamas, knowing that you've got this derby sitting just on the other side of it? Are you that derby crazy?
No, not really. I was actually telling John Cash and them that I'm going to have to get some sort of internet service and tell everybody they got to write me on the internet or like Facebook or something for questions, because I won't be able to answer any calls the week leading up to it. But no, I think it'd be nice to go on a cruise, or a vacation right before I got to get there and work for a whole day in the heat down there. But it'd be nice.
Yeah, it's going to. Good thing you're going to be relaxed when you get there, because the tension is certainly going to ramp up when you get all these different personalities, these big personalities that are coming to be part of this. Especially with Decker going to be there, that's going to be probably the worst car to have to inspect.
Oh, goodness.
And it's going to be a good time. I'm actually pretty excited. My brother and John, they're pretty excited about it, too. They've always wanted to help at a bigger show like this. Like I said, they've helped at the Bash, here and there, but they've never really, was the main guy. So they're pretty excited to actually come in and help me, and they're studying up on the rules a lot. I'll even send them questions that no one's even asked me, just to see how they answer, just to see if they're on the same page as me.
Sure. Nice. You hear that? Testing his bosses.
Yeah. Which, you got to, though, because you got to know, you have to know in what spirit the rule was wrote. Like, what were they thinking? What were they trying to accomplish? I think that's a great idea. He's, like they said, he said they had to try to make the rules fair to everybody. So one group or one group of style builders didn't have an advantage. So, you had to kind of, understand what they were thinking when they got that rule wrote. So I think that's a great idea.
The car selection that you're hearing about thus far, is it pretty diverse, or are people dialing in just on Fords and Caddies?
I think it's a lot of Fords and Caddies.
Yeah.
The guys out west, I try to hit to them guys, like the Utah guys, because every time I see them run, they're running something from like the 50s or 60s or something.
Right.
So I was like, man, I hope they don't bring anything like that. But they're hitting to bring in Fords and Lincolns and stuff like that. So I'm thinking they're going to basically bring just the new styles, hopefully. But if I gotta crawl under an old 60 something car, I will. But every time I see like that Derek Shelley run, he's in something crazy,
something oddball.
So they do have some awesome cars.
The Lincolns, the late 50s Lincolns.
Not to completely change the subject, but
go ahead.
Did you see the picture of the car that Chris Lancaster and Jill brought into their shop?
Yes.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that run.
I'm hoping it's going to be in early February.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool. Hopefully, I would love to see that run. You got talking about the old cars and went right to that. Chris finds some pretty neat stuff that
he does.
wreck.
He does, and he makes some questionable decisions with it. When he stuck that big black caddy motor in the Thunderbird.
Yeah, he's got a brand new guard sitting there, and he puts a 500 cubic inch caddy in there. But Chris likes to do some experimenting. So
they wrapped it in heating blankets, the salamanders,
salamanders, all sorts of crazy stuff to get that big sucker running. Once it got running, I don't think they ever shut it off again until until he took the steam bath. And had to shut it off.
Just kept pouring the fuel to it.
Crazy. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to this Florida show. I was talking with Tim and Russ, and they're going to go down as well. So we were thinking about going to Winterstein and checking that out, but man, I think it's going to be a little bit warmer in Florida. And I said, the boss said, "You want to go to Florida?" And I said, "Yeah." And so I'm going to Florida. So it's going to be a good time. I can't wait. It's always good to go to a new venue, check out some new Derbian, see some guys I haven't run before, or I haven't watched them run before. Really looking forward to it. It's a great opportunity, to build something great down there, and hopefully we can, the guys can continue building it, and it's just going to get bigger from here.
Hernando County Fairgrounds in Brooksville, Florida is the place. Nick King, you can get a hold of him. If you've got any questions, you can find him on Facebook regarding the build for the cars that are going to be running down there at the Florida Southern Nationals Showdown. Nick, at this point, it's full, right? We're not taking any more entries at this point. It's just guys that are building cars. If they've got questions, they can get a hold of you.
The team show is full. The front-wheel drive stock class is full. And then I think the last time I heard there was a few spots left for the semi-stock class, like the full size.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the last
where you can run a full size or a minivan or whatever you may bring, but it's got to be stock, semi-stock.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
I think there's a few spots left over for that.
That's what your options are. You're not getting in the team draw. That is full at this point. Nick, is there anything that we missed in our conversation?
Yeah, actually, I got a few little announcements.
Go for it.
Casey and them wanted me to announce we're actually going to have a raffle car for the front-wheel drive and the semi-stock. I think the winner just gets to drive it. I don't think they get to take the car home, but it's a chance to drive for $1,000.
Cool.
Can't go wrong.
Front-wheel drive and semi-stock is both going to pay $1,000, $600, $300, and then a $200 Mad Dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then the team show is actually going to be a $10,000 purse with $6,000 to the winner, $3,000 to second, and $1,000 to third. Then an additional $1,000 Mad Dog, which was sponsored by Stern Dirt Racing.
Nice. So that $1,000 Mad Dog is going to a team or going to one driver?
I'm not real sure. I think it may be just a driver or it may be a team. I can't say 100% on that, but it's $1,000 Mad Dog for the team.
If the right pairing gets together, you're not going to have to worry about whether it goes to a driver or a team because they're both going to be bringing it home. But that's some pretty good money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then if anybody's listening, we're also looking for a few more sponsors. We're looking for a slider shaft. Both yokes would work, or we need both yokes. A set of headers for an SBC and some Super Wall 715s. If anybody's out there listening and they want to do a sponsorship, they can get with me or JC Molly and let us know what we got to do to get something of that.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best. If there's anything that we can help get you in contact with people with, let us know. We're certainly looking forward to getting down there to the show. I know Josh is anxious. He's going to be putting the finishing touches on his car in the coming weeks, and Ben and Brian will be down there bringing all the coverage to everybody.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a good time.
I'm going to be up in balmy St. Peter, but I don't have to bring.
It was mid-40s last year, though.
Yeah, we're due for a cold one.
It's only like 44 in Florida right now, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would be fantastic if the weather in Minnesota was even remotely comparable to what you guys were dealing with in Florida. That would be okay.
I think last year was like 60 down there, 65.
Yeah.
I text either Steve
or I'm hoping it's about 60 or 70 degrees down there for us. Right now it's like 20.
Yeah. Good. I don't want anybody spoiled.
I don't think you got to worry about that. But.
Awesome. Well, Nick, man, I appreciate you coming on the show and hanging out with us for a little while. Wish you the best of luck on your cruise and on your vacation. Hopefully everybody travels safe and you can get back in one piece so that you can start crawling all over these cars as we get ready for the Florida Southern Nationals Showdown.
Yes, sir. Can I announce a few of these sponsors JC sent me?
Yeah, definitely.
There's a few of them. Major Site Development, Big Rock Derby Parts or Products, NLR Derby Parts, BS Builders, Smith Metalworks out of PA, Rouse Transmissions, G-Force Motors, then JC Molly Motorsports. You know, he puts a lot into it. A lot of people don't realize that. CMT Towing, of course, Ciopa Racing. Then you got A-Ready Roofing, Vans, Cars, Trucks, and Auto Sales, Wilson Technology, Dual Ray Construction, Brooksville, Pulley, ASOS, and then you guys, Crash Course, for doing it, putting it on live for us, you know, so everybody else can see it.
Cool.
Sounds good to me.
Absolutely.
Well, listen to those names. Some of them sound pretty familiar. We're going to be talking to one of them next week. Next Monday, we're going to have Dave from Big Rock on to talk about the show that they're working on for the middle of September. They've already got entries and started collecting entries along those lines. So that's coming down the pike. It is going to be a very, very busy 2018, to say the least. But I think that's going to do it for episode number 211 from here in the North Park building here at Academy Square. We appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out with us. We'll be back again on a regular night, Monday, and back on Monday, 6 o'clock start time, right here at FingerLakes1.com studios. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you then.
The Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.